It's pizza day today. Yeah, we're going all the way from the start. We're gonna make some fresh pizza dough. We're gonna give it a nice herbed ricotta topping so that we can make a sort of white pizza. We're gonna put some other great toppings on it, cook it up out on the Camp Chef pizza oven attachment, and the result is gonna be what you'd expect, amazing pizza. Yeah, so this is a white pizza today. No marinara, no tomato. We're going with that garlic ricotta spread on it. But first we gotta get the dough made. I'm starting with 1 cup of warm water, and warm water is, warm tap water, not boiling hot. And I'm using my stand mixer today. To this I'm adding 1 teaspoon of sugar. Final ingredient right here at this stage is 1 package of active dry yeast. Just want to give this a gentle stir here. We're going to let this yeast start to come alive here. It's going to take 5 or 10 minutes. All right, we've got our yeast activated here. You can see it foaming, you can see the bubbles, but also you can smell it in the air, that really yeasty aroma, and that's what we're looking for. So now let's get the rest of our dough ingredients in here. Now I've got my dough hook on here, and I'm just gonna start at low speed. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm gonna start adding my flour. I'm using all-purpose flour here, and total about 3 cups. I have 3 cups set aside. Might need a little more if the dough is a little too sticky, or if it's a little too dry, we'll add a little more water. I'm gonna add this a little at a time here. Wipe up a little bit of my excess flour here. I'm gonna turn my speed up to medium. And it's gonna be a very shaggy dough at first. I wanna scrape my sides and my hook down a little bit here. Until it's a little dry, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of water probably. Let's see how we're doing here. That is looking good so far, but we need to knead it in here a little bit more, probably another minute. That is looking good. All right, I'm gonna get my mixer out of the way and we're gonna get this set. We're gonna get it out on the counter with some flour, knead it a little bit before we get it into a bowl to rest. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of flour on my countertop here, spread it around. You can do this on a cutting board if you have marble, anything like that. Get my dough out here. And I just wanna work this a little bit here. It's already had a pretty good workout in the stand mixer. So what I want to do is I want to work it into a ball shape where the bottom is sort of pinched under. About like that. Now what I want to do is I'm going to take a bowl, put a little bit of olive oil in here. I'm going to brush this all around the bowl, edges, everything. Sides, get it oiled up nicely. We're going to take our dough ball. I'm just going to roll it over in here once too to get oil on all sides. I'm going to get just a nice little coating on it. I'm going to cover this with some plastic wrap here. And I'm going to set this aside just in sort of a warmish place for about an hour so that dough can rise. And while it's rising, we're going to make our garlic ricotta for this white pizza. So for our garlic ricotta spread, we're starting with 15 ounces of ricotta cheese. This is a whole milk ricotta. I just like saying ricotta. To this, I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of minced garlic. Gonna also some cracked black pepper in here. I don't know, maybe a half teaspoon, quarter teaspoon, however much pepper you like. and just a really light bit of salt. I'm gonna mix this together here. As I think I mentioned, this replaces the marinara, the tomato sauce. There's different types of white pizza. This is just one. We'll spread this out in a thin layer on our pizza before we put our toppings on. A little taste here, see if we need to add anything more. I think I want some more garlic in that. Another half tablespoon. So in this, you could add things like Italian seasoning. We're gonna put some fresh basil on top today, so I don't wanna add any basil or oregano in this, but you certainly can. All right, this is looking good. I'm gonna cover this. It's gonna go in the refrigerator, and after our pizza dough has risen and we're ready to put this on, I'll bring you back. So our pizza dough's been resting for just about an hour, and let's take a look and see how much it's risen. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. It's doubled in size easily. Really nice and springy. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to flour my work surface, get this out on here and divide it, because I'm not using all this right now for a pizza. I'm gonna use about a third of this for one pizza. Just a little bit of flour here. Get our dough out. And I just wanna kind of get it into a log here so I can divide it evenly. So we're gonna take probably about that much for our pizza. The rest of this is gonna go in the refrigerator in a covered container. I'll use this later tonight or tomorrow. So I'll make sure I got flour here. Remember, there's oil on this. And sometimes the oil is enough to not be sticky, but just wanna roll this out a little bit. Now I'm gonna take my rolling pin and I'm just gonna start working it to get it into a round. I'm not a pizza expert or a pizza chef, so there's lots of ways to do this. This is the one that works best for me. And if it comes out to be a perfect circle, it will be a miracle. And it doesn't need to be a perfect circle. Just generally needs to be flat and all about the same size, same thickness. A little more flour here. I just want to start stretching this a little bit. Sometimes you can do it by tossing it back and forth between your hands. Or you can do that fancy thing where you throw it up in the air, spin it around on your knuckles. I can't do that. Just kind of slapping it back and forth, turning it. More flour here. Just gonna keep working it till I get to about the size that I want. And it's thinned out nicely here, because I do want sort of a thin crust pizza. All right, I'm gonna transfer this now to my pizza peel because it's gonna make it much easier to dress it and get all the sauce and the toppings on here right when it's on that peel. So we're gonna get a peel out here and put a little bit of cornmeal on it. That will help this not stick, but it's not flour, so it won't go into the pizza oven and kind of burn. So I have my pizza peel here. Just gonna sprinkle a little cornmeal on there. Get my pizza dough on there. Now, first thing I want to get on here is just a little bit of pizza oil. You could just use olive oil. I happen to have this sort of spicy pizza oil, got some peppers in it, and I just want to get a little on here. I just want to brush it around gently. Now for our garlic ricotta. I just like using the back of a spoon here. Get enough on here to get a nice thin layer. I don't want a ton on here. You can always add more, but it's really hard to take it off. So just work it around. I like to leave a little bit of space around the edge for the crust, but you can go right up the edge if you want. Again, this is very individual. You can change this up, add different flavors. I'm doing a white pizza because, you know, I've done red sauce pizzas, marinara pizzas before. I think I even did a couple videos with them. But this is the first white pizza video I've done. A little bit more to this side over here. I want to give this just a little shake of a fennel pepper rub that I have, which is a nice Italian-y flavor to it. I want to start putting some marinated fire-roasted red peppers on here. These are just from a jar, and they're perfect for this. You could clearly go out and make your own fire-roasted red peppers if you wanted to, but this is a little easier, and it tastes great. But by all means, if you're into making that, go ahead. I've done that. Now for some prosciutto. I'm just going to take pieces of prosciutto, rip them up, drop them on here. It's so thin that this is great on pizza. It has a tendency to crisp up if you've got a hot oven. Nice crispy fatty flavor to it, if you can get that to happen. And at the end, after this comes out of the oven, I'm going to be putting some fresh basil on it, but I don't want to put that on right now. I know some people do, but I prefer fresh basil, not cooked. You know, once it's been in the oven. Nothing wrong with that, I just prefer it this way. Finally, I'm going to hit this with some fresh shaved Parmesan. Not a lot, just a little on the top for some extra cheesy flavor. There we go. Let's get this out to the pizza oven. So this is the Camp Chef Artisan Pizza Oven attachment for the Sidekick. And the Sidekick is the thing that goes on the pellet grill. I have the Woodwind Wi-Fi 24 and Camp Chef sent this to me to try, including the pizza oven. I've used it before in testing and it works really well. Right now I'm shooting for a deck temperature in here of about 500, 550 degrees, so let's check that. I've got about 500 and right there, 530-ish in the center. So this is good. Let's get our pizza on. One little side stick in here. Didn't have enough cornmeal there. And we'll watch this and see when it gets nice and crispy and nice and bubbly. Want to rotate this. Check underside. Starting to get nice and brown. This usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes on a pizza this size and this thin at this temperature. See how we're doing here. Looking good. A little more turn here. The dome temp in this right now is about 600 degrees, so the deck temp's about 500, 550. I think we are done. Let's get our pizza out of here. That's a good looking pizza. Let's see our crust there. Ah, that looks good. Not burned, nice and toasty brown. If a pizza crust gets a couple char spots, personally, I don't care. I like it a little crispy. Let's get our basil on here. Put as much as you want, or as little. Make it look pretty. All right, let's go ahead and cut this. I'm going to take this little corner piece here for a taste because it is time to taste. So here we go. Let's see how we did. You know, I love a pizza with tomato sauce with marinara, but this is a nice change. Nice punch of that garlic in the ricotta, the prosciutto on top, the peppers, everything works really well here. It's nice to have this pizza oven attachment, but I've done this in the regular oven before on a pizza stone or just a little pizza pan. I just crank the temperature up to 450, 500 degrees. You get great pizza there, but this is really nice to have. There you have it. Super simple pizza dough recipe. Easy toppings, a little different, no marinara, but great flavors that all come together in the end on a nice crispy pizza that's really extra special because it's made from scratch. I think I'm going for a second piece.